And I like to announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. You'll find us on facebook.com/joynewsontv. Like our page, comment on all the posts we put there. We'll amplify your voice by sharing your comments with the rest of the world. You can tweet us at @joynewsontv, @JNInteractiveGH, and @MNToure. All these handles are ready for you just to send your tweets. We will retweet and we'll also read them here live on the show. joynewsim@multitvworld.com is our email address. You can forward any comment or contribution and we will do well to share them also with the rest of the world. 054-010-9009. That's our WhatsApp number. Send every WhatsApp comment that you want to send, video to us, picture. We would amplify it. We'll share it with the rest of the world. JN Interactive, as always, is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So many things are trending. The utility companies are in the limelight again. Parts of the capital were plunged into darkness from last night after a power substation around the Jowulu-Achimota area developed some problems in the late hours of yesterday. And we are trying to get the public relations officer of the ECG, who is in the person of William Watting, on the phone to give us some clarity on the situation. The second issue that we'll be talking about will be that of the Ghana Water Company. Apparently, they are shutting down their plant at Wager just to make sure that they are able to, carry out repair works there starting from tomorrow, May 16th. And the shutdown is to enable engineers really carry out what they say routine maintenance work on the Wager treatment plant. This will interrupt the already deficient supply of water to consumers in the western and central parts of Accra. And the areas to be affected would include Kasoa, CP, Nyanyano, Amanfrom, Obom Road, Wager, Tetegu, McCarthy Hill, SCC, Tuba, Brigade, Botiano, Malam, Bawe, Odoko, Awoshi, Sowutium, Israel, Achimota, Ofanko, Galilea, Abeka, La Paz, Tesano, Dakuman, Bubuashi, Kaneshi, industrial area, Mataheko, and Abosokain on all the other areas also. And I'm hoping that I would have some of our resource people online to actually help clarify some of the things, especially when it comes to the ECG. The questions would have sought clarity on what really happened yesterday, because there are conflicting reports that the fire station actually caught fire, and others are saying that some cables fell. And so we would have wanted William Watting, who is a PRO of ECG, to really help us answer some questions, to educate us on what really happened yesterday to cause a very big chunk of the capital to sleep in darkness yesterday. The reports also said that they were hoping that by later this evening we would have electricity in all the affected areas, but we haven't had any news from them yet. We're still trying to reach both my resource people to speak to them. None of them is actually answering, but we're trying frantically. Perhaps they're in meetings or something like that. And to also ask them how far the repairs have gone and when they can guarantee that the people living in these communities will have power to, for work and for their homes and places like that. And also when it comes to the Wager power plant, you all agree with me that most of these stations were constructed in Nkrumah's era. It's been decades after Nkrumah. So the idea would have been that with all the money that the water company has made so far, the profits that they have made, at least they can use some of these profits to relay all the pipes in the area. A very preemptive measure to say that, okay, in the next few months, the lines have corroded. We need to maintain them. So why don't we take everything out and overlay them? I'm sure they'll be telling us about cost and whatever, but they're making enough money to be able to overlay all of them. So my question would have been to ask Michael Ajiman, who is the communication director, to tell us if they couldn't actually get rid of all this pipe and then relay some other pipes there just to curtail this situation. And also, you know, besides sending press releases, because they just sent their press release, this is the press release that you can see here, they only just sent it today to tell us that we won't have water starting from 16th. Couldn't they actually give us a week or two's notice to say that you people within this area, we are going to shut your water in 1 or 2 weeks, so do something about getting some water stored before we do that? They could actually give us more rather than give us 2 or 3 days notice. And, you know, to actually ask them to, you know, give us enough notice to do that. And also, as an organization, why can't they communicate and be in line with the PURC's regulations about, you know, everything that they ought to do for us here as a country? But unfortunately, neither of them is answering their phone. We were out there today. Sarah, in fact, was out there today to solicit your views and to ask how this shutdown is going to affect your life. So we'll take our video blog in anticipation that my resource people will actually pick the phone and answer our questions. But if they don't, I'll pick your comments on Facebook when we come back. Don't go away.
Thank you, Marian. The wastewater treatment plant will be shut down for 2 days, starting from Friday, May 16th, for maintenance. Now, I want to know, how is this going to affect you?
I don't think it's going to be a new thing. It happens. Moreover, sometimes, even on the normal days, the taps are shut for like a week. So I don't think it's going to have any major problem on Ghanaian citizens or the people living there. They are used to it.
It affects us because we have to buy water daily from those who have erected water big tanks. Then you go to buy one, it's about 10 pesos or 20 pesos before you can use it for the whole family. So if you have a big family, you have to buy plenty of water for anything. So that is our worry. The water short there is a problem for every family, except those who have money. And then they have tanks, so that they can use the tanks and then without any problem. But those of us who don't have tanks, we have to go and buy before we can use it in our families.
It's a daily, it's a normal thing. But after some time, after last December, the situation in every 2 weeks you get water. But these days, if they should go back to that particular day, it's going to create problems for a lot of us.
Normally we do bath every day, use some for our water closet and food and stuff. So in case when they close it, we may not get water to bath or something to cook our food. We'll be going around all the way to other places to fetch water, and maybe you are going to work, it will affect your time too.
No matter how you have your storage, it will get exhausted. And when it's finished, you start looking for water. And you discover everywhere will be smelling. Even your house, everything will look tattered, because water is very important. When there is no good water to cook those food, those restaurants, you understand me now, they won't be able to cook for us. And when they get water from another source, it may be a contaminated water. So because of that, people may end up, you know, contacting a lot of disease from water, all those things.
If you don't have water, you cannot bath and go to work. And at the same time, to those people who used to cook, if they don't have water, it will affect. So definitely, so we have to get a different source to get water.
So thankfully, Mr. Michael Agyemang, who is the communications director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, is actually on the phone lines with us to help clarify some things. Good evening, Mr. Agyemang. Welcome to JN Interactive.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm sorry that we had to get you at such a short notice, but thank you for making it for us.
Oh, no.
The pipelines, you know, which you are going to repair now, or for most of the country, they were actually laid during Nkrumah's era. So we really want to find out, with all the money that the company is making, because we know you're making a lot of profits, can't you actually preempt that issues like this, you know, would occur, so change the lines at least once and for all?
We know. In fact, what we are doing tomorrow is just to help us introduce some improvement, but I must say positive improvements into our service delivery. We know over the years, so for some time now, what happens is that anytime there are leakages on our pipeline, we are always forced to shut down the pipe lines, deny people of water for days before, and then use that period to fix the leakage. But what we want to do is that we want to install a valve. But what we want to do tomorrow, we are installing a valve at the point called Heavyweight around Odofo, very near Junction. Where the essence is that this valve normally will help isolate portions of the water system for servicing. By always carefully considering the placement of valves at some point on the water system, we will be able to repair and do maintenance work with actually minimal loss of service to our consumers. People will not even see it. What happens is that you can, when you have a valve, you can turn it in such a way that you can divert water flow to other pipelines, just so that you isolate the portion where there is a leakage, and then you can just fix it without people going through it. So that is what we want to do tomorrow, and it's a new development that we want to do. Do it all over our pipelines, just so people will not suffer in terms of leakages. People will not go through hardship and that sort of thing. And we are only asking for a day or two from Friday tomorrow, and we know by the close of day tomorrow we might finish. But we are giving ourselves up to Saturday. So that's why we have sent out announcements telling everybody to store enough to last them for the period.
Right. I was actually wanted to find out when you decided to do this maintenance, because we've only just received your press release today as media telling us that you're going to do this tomorrow. So shouldn't you give, let's say, your customers, your customers, enough notice rather than a 24-hour notice to say, store water, I'm going to shut down your pipes?
No, we started the announcement 2 days ago. In fact, 3-4 announcements.
Okay.
Well, I must say we selected some stations because of we selected some stations. I know there comes up something. We done the announcement to carry out for them. So 3 days ago they started. And today we decided to actually send a press release just so every press house will get and help us propagate the gospel, so that people will then store water ahead of the shutdown.
Okay.
So that's what we have done. We sent back results notice some 2 days ago. We are paying for that. We are paid for that. And that, apart from that, we have sent out this press release so that everybody will get it.
Okay. Michael Ajiman, thank you so very much for the clarity.
You're welcome.
And we're speaking to Mr. Michael Ajiman, who is the communication director of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Unfortunately, we have to end an interactive here because we have some live feed coming in from Senchi in Akosombo, where the National Economic Forum is actually taking place now. That is where we drop the curtains on our show for today. We're taking you back live to Senchi. Good evening.
90%.
What about the 10th? What happened to it?
The 10% is, I think, that in some cases we weren't specific enough with what should be done very clearly, particularly on the issue of expenditures. I think that we could have been a lot clearer as to how government can cut in order to be able to rebalance the budget as quickly as possible. So I think we could have gone a little further. Maybe we will pick that up in the aftermath, when we start looking at the detail of what the specifics of things should be done. So I think that's an area that we could actually do something about.
And we'll be joined shortly by Dr. Kwesi Botcho. He's standing by to join us. Professor Kwesi Botcho will join us shortly. The big man himself. And of course, I need to tell you what just happened when I mentioned the name of Dr. Kwesi Botcho, because the man standing in front of me, Kwesi Hayford, knew a bigger man is coming. Like the typical case of what Jesus and John the Baptist. Good. Okay, so let me ask you this. You have proposed today a placing of a certain ceiling on government borrowing. Some say, going to the US where you're having a debt ceiling. Is that realistic within that particular context? Because we know, and it's repeated itself every election year, governments spend way and above what the law says they can spend. Will this work this time around, and what would it take?
Well, this is not the first time that this has been suggested. And I am absolutely sure that you will get a lot more detail when you talk to Dr. Kwesi Botwe about it, because he understands it. He has tried to implement it before during his time, and subsequently he will be able to tell you from an experiential point of view exactly how it would work. What we try to do with this is to find out whether we could come up with a broad formula of how we could deal with it. So in a very simple way, we have said that government should not be looking at capping its ceiling on its future, but capping its ceiling on its past. So to do that, you're actually now taking the previous period's revenues and you're saying government cannot borrow over and above that limit. But we were very, very critical that it should not be just government borrowing from the central bank, but government's total borrowing has to be controlled. It won't matter whether it's an election year or not. It has to be a year-to-year thing. And as you go forward, we will gradually get away from the excesses of the election year overspend, which was our target, but we think it could be done as you go forward.
Mr. Hayford, thank you very much. Let me bring in Prof.